What's up, guys? We're here with Monday Night NFL football action here for Week 5. We'll take a deep dive on the Chiefs versus Jaguars. I'll give up my favorite bets against the spread and over-under, and we're going to look at a ton of NFL player props. Also, we're going to look at both the MLB playoff games for Monday and player props for those as well, so buckle up. We have a great video for you today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and player availability being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, was a pretty busy Sunday out there for us, and it had some ups, had some downs, got off to a great start there with the Colts at -7. That was a blowout 40-6 win behind a very solid day there from Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor. The Colts defense was also excellent and kept Geno Smith looking completely lost out there. Things are looking pretty bleak for the Raiders. Now, the Jets, that was a huge mistake. Apparently, we need to stay away from them as much as we can, but in the second half, we saw enough to make us feel a little bit less dumb for taking them, but a 37-22 loss, still not what we were looking for, and Dallas, not exactly a great team, so we'll maybe be steering clear of the Jets here for a bit, but we'll have to see. We had the Eagles at -4. That was a weird one. They were in control for the first 3 quarters before being unable to do anything late in the game. Saquon once again couldn't do anything, and it appears that Denver defense is as advertised, giving up only 17 points as the Broncos get the 21-17 win. We still have the Bills at -8. They have had a weird first half of football in this one, down 6-3 currently. We'll see if they can come out with some adjustments there at halftime and play a little bit better. We did have the Commanders as our dog of the day at +3. After a tough first quarter, we see them make a nice comeback to eventually win 27-10. Jaden Daniels didn't get asked to do a massive amount, but still had a very good day, and the Commanders' running game looked dominant out there, so a very nice time to be on the Commanders, getting some points. And we had the Lions at -10.5 as our massive lock of the day. The massive lock of the day stays hot, guys. They were leading 28-3 through the first 3 quarters, then gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter, but still came through for us with the 37-14 win. Getting us the win there on our lock of the day feels really good. So let's hope the Bills can turn things around and turn this into a 4-2 day. That would be really nice. We've got a nice little Monday slate. Not a ton cooking out there, but we've got lots of player props to look at for both MLB and NFL. So let's go ahead and dive in, guys. We're going to be looking at the Kansas City Chiefs going on the road to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars here on Monday Night Football. The Chiefs come into this game 2-2 on the season. The first couple weeks looked a little bit rough, although they could have won that game against the Eagles. That was due in large part to that, Kelsey mistake. But yeah, taking down the Giants 22-9 looked pretty comfortable. And then getting Xavier Worthy back, a 37-20 win over the Ravens last week. So things clearly turning around there for the Chiefs as they, start to get healthy, start to get their actual weapons back. And Mahomes looked amazing in that 37-20 win. 25 of 37, 4 touchdowns, 1 sack, no interceptions. He also ran the ball a couple of times, but nothing too special there in the running game. But yeah, Xavier Worthy, he cracked off a 35-year-old Russ. Pachenko still looking kind of mediocre there. Kareem Hunt did okay, but not an amazing day running the ball, but throwing the ball looked great. Xavier Worthy caught 5 out of his 8 targets for 83 yards as he works his way back to, being 100%. Travis Kelce did not blow up Xavier Worthy, so that was nice, and also caught all 5 of his targets for 48 yards. It was just a really good day out there for the Chiefs. They didn't turn the ball over. Let's keep in mind this all happened against a very bad Ravens defense, but still an excellent day out there for the Chiefs on offense, and a lot of things that we just didn't see them look capable of doing in the first couple weeks, because not having Xavier Worthy is a huge problem for this team. Also, Rashee Rice coming back will make a huge difference as well, and that's coming up here pretty soon. So a lot of positives here heading into a Monday night game, and then week 6 coming up. The Chiefs seem like they're headed in the right direction offensively, and on defense, giving up 20 points last week looks pretty good. Definitely roughed up Lamar Jackson there a little bit, had that 1 interception, slowed down the running game. If it wasn't for that 71-yard run there from Justice Hill, it would have been a very solid performance there from the Chiefs against the ground attack. They created a total of 2 turnovers and had 3 sacks in the game, so a lot of positives for the Chiefs in that one. And the last 2 weeks, the defense has looked really good. They're actually 7th in the NFL, allowing only 19 points per game. All of their offensive numbers are starting to come around as well. So all of a sudden, the Chiefs looking like an awfully different team from what we saw from them in the first couple weeks, where it was all of a sudden like, oh my God, are the Chiefs going to miss the playoffs? Well, I wouldn't bet on the Chiefs missing the playoffs right now. So we'll see what their injury report looks like for this game. Xavier Worthy is technically questionable for this one. He's still dealing with that ankle issue. It's apparently some swelling going on. He is on the injury report, but it seems like it's very precautionary. I do pretty much expect him to play in this game, but keep an eye on it. Weird things have happened, so definitely keep an eye on that. That would make a big difference, obviously. Other than him, the offense is fully healthy. On defense, we do see Norman Lott. He is questionable for this game, and missing a defensive lineman can be a big deal. That shoulder issue, though, I'd be a little bit surprised if that keeps him out of the game, but once again, we'll kind of have to wait and see, but I do expect him to play. Now, on the Jaguars side, they come in this game 3-1 in the season, but when you look at what they've done, not quite as impressive. A 26-10 win against the Panthers in week 1. Okay, it was the Panthers. A 31-27 loss at the Bengals in week 2. That's not a great look. A 17-10 win over the Texans in week 3, a game they definitely could have lost, and a lot of mistakes were made there by the Texans, but I'll give them a little bit of credit for that one. And then that 26-21 win over the 49ers last week in a game where we saw Brock Purdy just really look like a shell of himself. 2 interceptions there and just not a good game. Now, Trevor Lawrence is starting to become a pretty big concern here for the Jaguars. Hasn't looked good in quite some time. Last week, 21 of 31, 174 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and wasn't sacked, but that was against San Francisco 49ers defense that's pretty banged up. So take that with a small grain of salt. And also Travis Etienne Jr., just going nuts running the ball. I think that was really the impetus behind this Jaguars offense having a good day, because I just don't really trust Trevor Lawrence through the air too much right now at all. It's looked a little bit bleak, but the running game does seem like it's fully online, and that's nice. They didn't fumble the ball away at all, so that's another positive, but things are going to look a little bit different here going up against the Chiefs as opposed to going up against the 49ers. So we'll see if things change a little bit here for the Jaguars. They are at least at home for this game, so I suppose that is a bit of a positive. Defensively last week, they did pick off Purdy twice. They sacked him once, but like we were saying, Purdy did not look like himself. Christian McCaffrey didn't have a monster day against them on the ground, only 17 carries for 49 yards, but had almost 100 receiving yards. They really struggled, against just a plethora of different things. If it wasn't for those 4 turnovers there from the 49ers, Jacksonville could have lost this game against, a 49ers team that didn't look great in that one. So we'll see if the defense is a real thing here. I mean, obviously they haven't played the toughest schedule, and right now they're 5th in the NFL, giving up 18 points per game. But is that going to be the real situation for this team? I mean, you played the Panthers, Bengals, Texans, and banged up 49ers. I don't know if this is actually a great defense. And looking at the injury report here, they are pretty much fully healthy there offensively, so that's a big plus. Tavon Walker could be out there at defensive end for them. On the defensive side of the ball, that would obviously be not ideal. He's dealing with a wrist issue. I do think there's a decent chance he could end up playing in this game as well. But once again, it's a little bit of a wait and see spot. Now, looking at the weather for this game, guys, we got a 25% chance of thunderstorms in this one. Winds up to 11-ish miles per hour, so we could have some weather involved in this game. There's also, a reasonable chance we don't have any weather in this one. It's gonna be a little bit warm, around 75, 80 degrees, so maybe a little bit, hotter than comfortable, but when it's a night game, I don't think that's a huge concern for us in this one. Now, looking at the numbers, the Jaguars are getting 3.5 points at home. We've got a total of 45.5 in this game. The Chiefs, they're 2-2 against the spread, 2-2 to the over-under this year. The Jaguars, they're actually 3-1 against the spread. They're 2-2 to the over-under. But guys, I'm definitely siding here with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Jaguars are getting overvalued here playing at home. As long as Xavier Worthy is going to play and looks anywhere close to healthy for this game, I think Kansas City is going to easily win this by at least a touchdown. I have zero faith in Trevor Lawrence doing very many positive things in an NFL football game. That just has not been part of his journey here over the last basically season and a half or something like that. I don't know. It's been so long since he's been good. So I'm more than happy to fade him and back Mahomes here. I do wish this number was a little bit smaller, but I do think the Chiefs probably win this one by a touchdown, so I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. Now, in terms of the total, 45.5 maybe feels like a little bit much to me. I mean, I'm not expecting insane blowouts for either team putting up crazy offensive numbers, but the Chiefs did play a little bit of a shootout there against the Ravens, but that's kind of a different deal. So I'm going to lean just slightly towards under 45.5, but not really a play that I see, making its way anywhere close to the pinned comment. Now, in terms of some player props for this game, we have quite a few that we like, and I'm still not backing off of this one, even though that weird Xavier Worthy injury news is coming out. Obviously, if you're going to play these Xavier Worthy props, you got to keep a very close eye there on that entire injury situation, but I do expect him to play. I think he's going to play well. I'll take him over 59.5 receiving yards here at -120. Clearly gave the Chiefs new life and is basically the only worthwhile wide receiver that Mahomes has, so I think we're going to see him easily beat this number if he's out there. I also liked what I saw from him in the running game. Now, maybe if that angle is actually banged up, they'll hesitate to hand him the ball a bunch, but he had 2 rushing attempts last week and snapped off that 35-yard scamper, and while I don't don't think that it's a lock he gets another big run like that. I do think he'll get a couple of carries, and getting to 7 yards here isn't a huge ask. So over 6.5 rushing yards definitely seems like a reasonable play here on Xavier Worthy as long as he is healthy. Now, staying on the Chiefs side, I like Kelsey in this spot quite a bit, especially if Worthy does end up being banged up here. I'll take him over 39.5 receiving yards at minus 125. This number is way too low. I know he isn't putting up insane numbers like in his youth, but he's been over this number every week this season except for one where he barely missed it. I think we see him around the 50 to 60 yards in this one. Unless Xavier Worthy is out, then I think that number gets significantly higher. So I like Kelsey here in terms of his yards. I also wouldn't mind a flyer here on Kelsey to score a touchdown at plus 175. It's a bit of a shot in the dark. He hasn't had a touchdown in the last 3 weeks, but here in prime time, I think there's a solid chance they get him some, shots there in the end zone. Probably going to expect him to not, end up handing the ball to the other team like he did there against the Eagles. I think Kelsey getting to the end zone here is a pretty reasonable play. On the Jaguars side, I'll take Trevor Lawrence here under 213.5 passing yards at minus 115. I have not been impressed at all with what I've seen from Lawrence this season, and he was way under this number last week, despite it being a win there for Jacksonville. The Chiefs' defense is no joke. He's not going to have a good time in this one. He's going to field a pass rush at times, and that is not good news there for Trevor Lawrence. So I think he's going to have a very, very rough time out there. Back on the Chiefs side, though, I like Mahomes under 21.5 rushing yards here at minus 115. An awful lot. He was running it a lot the first couple games of the season, but has had single-digit rushing yards in each of the last 2 weeks there in games the Chiefs had under control. I fully expect them to do something similar this week. Keeping the game under control means Mahomes does not have to put himself at risk and run a bunch. The Jaguars not going to be having a good time in this game. I think Mahomes will be more than happy to sit in the pocket and be a distributor. I'll definitely take his under on rushing yards in this one. And he could run the ball 3 or 4 times and still not get to 21.5 rushing yards. So I think this play has a good chance of making the pinned comment. Hey guys, hopping in here with a quick shout out to the sponsor today and every day's video, and that is stumpthespread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, UFC, NFL, and college football picks with NBA action coming up very, very soon. NHL hockey is right around the corner, so definitely get over there and check that out. MLB has had a great season. We've had some ups and downs here in the early portion of the NFL and college football seasons, but getting a sample size, getting some statistics really makes us be able to lock in and have some very, very solid stuff. And you definitely want to get over there to stumpthespread.com. While you're checking out that premium stuff, definitely get over there and see all the free stuff we post over there every single day. They're exclusive free picks that are only posted there. That's where you'll find our free-to-use bet size calculator, and that's where you'll also find our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not match what you see here from me in the video, as I'm not the premium handicapper over there at stumpthespread.com. We have a team of experts over there covering all the major sports. Each guy has over a decade's worth of experience covering his given sport, and the amount of work that goes into those plays, the use of analytics, all the AI tools that they use to import all these different data points. Like, it's pretty nuts, guys. The amount of information that's taken into consideration on every single play is very, very impressive. Not just in Major League Baseball, where there's a billion statistics right at your fingertips, but in college football as well, where there's all that player movement, so hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different players. It's a very, very impressive amount of work that goes into those plays. So definitely get over there and check that out. In terms of our results here yesterday on the premium side, had a bit of bad luck mixed in there. We're on the Chargers as a 1-unit play. That one didn't work out, but the Broncos plus 4.5, that one came through. That Isaiah Davis prop, that did not come through, unfortunately. That was only a 1/10 of a unit there. That was a pretty big underdog. The big problem was the Giants just choking, just couldn't hold on to the ball. Just some of the dumbest fumbles you'll ever see. So that was pretty brutal there for the Giants not to be able to hold on after building a nice early lead. We were on Detroit there for over 28.5 total points as a team total. That was an easy win as a 2-unit play. The Vikings as a 2-unit play came through for us in the morning game as well, although they tried to make that one messy. And also the Mariners, that one is looking good right now. They're up 2-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning, so it could end up being a reasonable day over there for our premium members. So definitely get over there and check that out, but also get over there to stumpthespread.com by clicking the link down in the description and get on that free email newsletter, guys. It's a fantastic resource. Every single day we'll send you one email. It'll have at least one free pick in it, often times 2. There'll be parlays in those emails as well. Information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, WNBA, tennis, all kinds of good stuff. Big write-ups on all those sports and big write-ups on some of the mainstream sports as well. So definitely want to get on that email list, guys. It's a fantastic resource and you get it every single day. There's zero effort involved once you sign up. And all they need for you to sign up is your name and your email address. That is it. So definitely get in on that if you're interested, guys. And also, If you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe more importantly, they get access to our members only giveaways. And guys, you're about to see a members only giveaway right here, right now. We do one of these every single week. We take the name of every single YouTube channel member. We put it on a big old wheel that you're about to see right now. We spin that wheel, and whoever this wheel lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie mailed straight to their address of choice. And this week's winner is going to be, looks like it's going to be Lazy Blackbeard. Lazy Blackbeard, pretty cool name, man. Let me know down in the comments that you see that you won the giveaway, and we'll get that hoodie out to you as soon as possible. We'll get in touch with you and let you know how to go about making sure you get your hoodie as quickly as we can possibly get it to you. It usually only takes a week. So definitely, guys, if you're interested in being a part of this giveaway here next week, we'll be doing another giveaway here on the 13th. We do one every single week. Click that little join button right below the video to become a YouTube channel member. But now, guys, we're going to hop on over. We've got 2 MLB playoff games to cover. We've got lots of props for those as well. So let's hop on over there and look at some baseball. And first up, we've got the Los Angeles Dodgers going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Dodgers come into this game probably feeling pretty great about themselves right now. They're 3-0 so far in the preseason. They swept the Reds in that 3-game wildcard series, and then they got off to a good start with that 5-3 win over the Phillies in game 1 of this series. So things are working out about how they would have wanted. A very good day offensively there for them in game 1 here. Hernandez killing it still. Ohtani didn't have a good day at the plate, was okay on the mound, not amazing, but love what we saw from Hernandez. He stays hot. The middle of the order hit the ball really, really well. So a lot of positives for the Dodgers in that game. The bullpen also held up, something that was not necessarily a given for this team. They've had their bullpen issues this season. So we'll see what they can do here in game 2. They're going to hand the ball to Blake Snell. He's 5-4 on the season, a 2.35 ERA. He's coming off a very solid start there against the Reds. He went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits and 2 earned runs while striking out 9 and walking 1. Yeah, that was a pretty comfortable win for the Dodgers. And the last time he faced the Phillies, the Dodgers won 5-0. He was dominant out there. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, walked 2 and struck out 12 in an eventual 5-0 win there for the Dodgers. So a lot of good news here from Blake Snell. The dude hasn't had that many outings this season. Dealing with injury, basically missed 2 full months there, coming back in early August, and he's looked pretty good since coming back. So probably not a lot of concerns there for the Dodgers handing the ball here to Blake Snell. I'm sure they do worry about their bullpen a little bit. Through the playoffs so far, their bullpen is sporting a 6.14 ERA. That's not great, but it's also probably not that huge of a shock. Their bullpen hasn't been that amazing this season, but the offense has been top tier. Obviously, they're coming off a decent 5-run game there against the Phillies in game 1 in their series against the Reds. They hit the cover off the ball. They're, I'm sure, going to be expecting a little bit of a bounce back here from Ohtani, who didn't hit the ball well in game 1 after hitting the ball great against the Reds. I'm expecting a little bit of a bounce back from him here too. Freddie Freeman, definitely somebody we could look to hit the ball well in this game. So a lot of positives for a Dodgers team that's second in the majors in runs scored this year and second in slugging percentage. So a very, very tough opponent here for the Phillies. They come into this game 0-1 here in the postseason. They had a pretty good regular season, had their ups and downs. Game 1 did not exactly go the way I'm sure that they would have hoped. They did have some success there early on, jumping out to that 3-0 lead there in the second, but the Phillies bullpen comes back to haunt them. And also Sanchez wasn't amazing in that start, giving up 2 earned runs on 4 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 8, so I'm not really casting aspersions here. The dude wasn't terrible, but once the bullpen gets involved, Robertson gave up 2 earned runs. That wasn't great. Just not really a bullpen that you can super rely on if you are the Phillies. So we'll see if the bullpen's got a little bit of a bounce back in him here. Offensively, coming up with only 3 runs. 3 runs in the second inning, cool, but you didn't score the rest of the game, and especially going against the Dodgers bullpen, that is a bit of a concern. They're going to hand the ball in game 2 to Jesus Luzardo. This 28-year-old lefty ended the year 15-7, a 3.92 ERA. His last start was against the Miami Marlins. He had a very good outing in that one back in the 24th, but back on the 17th, he was on the opposite side of that Blake Snell start in that 5-0 loss for the Phillies. He went 7 innings, gave up 6 hits and 4 earned runs, including a couple home runs in that game. So not exactly an amazing look. He's been okay down the stretch this year, but has made a lot of his very good starts against some very mediocre teams. He had a great start against the Dodgers back in April. That feels like it was years ago. So we're not going to really be taking that too much into account. So we'll see what Luzardo can do here. I don't think being a lefty in this situation is a terrible thing. We'll see. We'll see what he can do against the Dodgers. We'll be getting into a little bit of that when it comes to the player props. But yeah, I'm maybe a little bit worried about Luzardo in the start. Definitely worried about the Phillies bullpen. An 8.10 bullpen ERA so far, only through one game. So obviously it's a small sample size, but their bullpen was bad this year and not looking great here in the early going part of the postseason. So we'll see if they got a bounce back in them. We'll see if the offense can get the ball a little bit better. When your top two hitters go combined 0 for 7 with one walk, it's going to be a little bit tough. Harper did have a hit, but also struck out twice. As a team, the Phillies struck out 12 times. I mean, I guess the Dodgers struck out 13, so maybe that's not too much of an indictment, but it was not an amazing day out there at the plate for the Phillies. They're going to have to try and be a little bit better here, but against Blake Snell, that could be a little bit rough. Over the course of the season, obviously, the Phillies were a very dangerous offense, 8th in runs scored, 2nd in batting average, 4th in slugging percentage, so they have what it takes. We'll see if they can make it happen in this one. Now, look at the numbers for this game. The Dodgers are minus 130. The Phillies are plus 110. We've got a total of 7.5 in this game. The Dodgers are a 500 road team, 44-35-1 to the under on the road. The Phillies, 55-27 at home, 42-36-4 to the over at home. Guys, I'm going to be leaning towards the Dodgers here at minus 130. I think it's a very, very good spot for them. I think they're probably going to come out on top in this one. I don't trust Luzardo or the Phillies bullpen in this spot nearly as much as I trust Blake Snell. Now, the Dodgers bullpen, not great, but I do like Blake Snell in this situation quite a bit. Now, I do also think over 7.5 is very reasonable in this game. We saw 8 runs in game 1. I think we could see something vaguely similar in this one, but the total probably not going to be ending up in the pinned comment. Now, in terms of some player props for this game, I think there's some interesting ones here. I'll take Freddie Freeman, first of all, to get a hit at minus 200. He had 2 hits versus Luzardo back on September 17th. He's had at least 1 hit in 9 out of his last 10 games. So I feel very confident that he'll find a way to get a hit in this one. If not off Luzardo, then maybe off that Dodgers bullpen. I also like Blake Snell here over 7.5 strikeouts at minus 115. First of all, he comes into this game fresh off a great start against the Reds where he struck out 9 in 7 innings, helped the Dodgers get a playoff win. Secondly, he just faced the Phillies back on the 17th, struck out 12, gave up 2 hits, and a dominant 5-0 win. So I like Snell to have a very good outing in this one. Getting to 8 strikeouts is a lot, but I think he definitely has the stuff to do it and the correct opponent to do it against. Now, on the Phillies side, I'm actually worried about Luzardo here. I'll take him under 6.5 strikeouts here at minus 140. I genuinely don't think Luzardo's in for a very good start in this one. The last time he faced the Dodgers back on the 17th, 6 strikeouts in that game. He was eventually hit fairly hard there and gave a couple of home runs. In the playoffs, I don't think he's going to have a super long leash here, so if he starts to run into trouble, they're going to take him out of the game, and it's going to take him a while to get to 7 strikeouts if he's even capable of doing that in this matchup. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Cubs come into this game fresh off a tough 9-3 loss there in game 1 of this series. Obviously, not what they were hoping for, not the way they wanted to start this series. Brutal NLDS beginning for sure. They got 6 runs hung on them in the first inning, and the game was pretty much out of reach at that point. Boyd had a terrible outing. They didn't hit the ball particularly well either. I mean, yeah, the top of the order looked okay. Horner coming up with a home run there isn't a huge shock. He's been hitting the ball really, really well. Hitting 3 home runs in a game and scoring 3 runs. Maybe you got a little bit unlucky, but yeah, nothing really looked great. The bullpen didn't look good in this one either, so a lot of problems confronting the Cubs here coming into this game. We'll see what they can do to bounce back. It could be a little bit tough here as they hand the ball to Shota Imanaga. He hasn't had as good of a year this year as he had last year. He's dealt with injuries, lots of problems like that. He ended the season 9-8, a 3.73 ERA. His last 3 outings did not look good either. A bad day there against the Padres on October 1st, giving up 3 hits and 2 earned runs there coming out of the pen. His last start was back on the 25th of September, and 5 2/3 innings, 9 hits, and 8 earned runs against the Mets. None of that gives me a lot of confidence here. We'll see what he can do against the Brewers. He faced them back in late August, and he was pretty good in that start, but the Cubs did lose that game 4-1. So we'll see what he can do. I'm not expecting him to go out there and be lights out. That is for sure. And that could be a bit of a concern. Now, the Cubs bullpen has generally looked better, but I mean, sure, a 2.16 bullpen ERA here in the playoffs is great, but can we expect that to continue? Seems a little bit of wishful thinking. We'll see. It's not impossible. They've been a decent bullpen over the course of the year, but I feel like you're asking a lot, especially if Imanaga can't stay out there and give them, like 5 to 6 innings, and that seems like a little bit sketchy to me, the way Imanaga's been throwing the ball here recently. So I'm worried about that. Offensively, scoring 3 runs in game 1 isn't terrible. All those runs were via the long ball. This is a team that can definitely hit it. I mean, they finished the year 5th in runs scored and 6th in slugging percentage, so that's all very, very impressive, but I worry about what they're going to be able to do here against the Brewers, a team that, has a pretty decent pitching staff. It's really rounded into form here down the stretch. So we'll see what the Cubs can come up with in this one. The Brewers Had to feel great after that game 1 win, winning 9-3, hitting the cover off the ball. Everything really falling into place for them in that one. I mean, they pile up 13 hits in the game. Just lots of dudes hitting the ball extremely, extremely well. And we're going to be talking about that in the player prop section here in just a second. Peralta, maybe not as good as they would have hoped, but they got some very solid work there from the bullpen. Interesting to see that Ashby is about to be used here on back-to-back days, and that's who's actually getting the start for this game. He's had a great season, a 2.16 ERA, was a very, very solid reliever, hasn't given up a run at all over his last... Oh my gosh, the dude's been lights out. What is it, up to 8 outings or something like that? Now, he's obviously not going to go deep in this game. He pitched yesterday, so I'm sure they're not going to leave him out there too long, but they want to use him where they can, and if it's going to be a full bullpen start there for Milwaukee, they do have some arms available that could put up a chunk of innings, but even if it is all bullpen, a 2.70 bullpen ERA so far here in the playoffs is a nice step up from what we saw from them in the regular season, where their bullpen, especially in the first half of the year, was not very good. Now, in the back half, they looked a lot better, so we got to give them credit there, and offensively, all year long, the Brewers have looked really, really good. They finished the year 3rd in runs scored, 3rd in batting average, and 2nd in on-base percentage. They're not a crazy power numbers kind of team, but they are a very, very dangerous team to face at the plate. So we'll see what they can get done in this one. Looking at the numbers here, the Cubs are plus 105. The Brewers are minus 125, a total of 8 in this game. The Cubs, 42-40 on the road this year, 39-37-6 to the under on the road. The Brewers, 53-29 at home, 40-39-3 to the under at home. I'm not super interested in this total of 8. Maybe I would lean just a hair here towards the over because I'm not in love with either pitching situation. So maybe the over is the way to go. But in terms of a side here, I will be taking the Brewers at minus 125. I trust their bullpen and just their pitching staff in general to have a better time overall than the Cubs bullpen starting Imanaga. That is going to be, I don't know, I'm definitely worried about this situation for Imanaga. We'll see what happens, but I could see him getting run from this game pretty quick. So we'll see what happens. Definitely think the Brewers are the side that we want. Now, in terms of player props here, I got a couple that I really like, and we are kind of focused in on one guy here, but I think Terang here to get 1+ hit at minus 225. Very live in this one. He hit the ball well last game that Imanaga pitched, but more importantly, he's hitting the absolute cover off the ball right now in general, and he is also hitting it really, really hard. And that's one of the reasons why I also like him here over 0.5 RBIs at plus 210. Dude's been killing it. He's had an RBI in each of the last 5 games. 5 games in a row. That's nuts. We're getting better than 2-1 on him to get an RBI in this one. Why not take a little bit of a shot there? And speaking of taking shots here, Terang to hit a 1+ home run is plus 700. Now, it's been a while since he's hit a home run, but he has a home run in his career against Imanaga. He has doubles in 3 straight games, so he's hitting the ball really, really hard right now. Getting one out of the park here does not seem out of the question to me. So a lot of Terang here. I just generally think he's going to have a pretty good day out there. So any hitting-related prop, if you want to take the over for him, that is absolutely fine with me. Now, on the Cubs side, I like Imanaga here to have a bad time. Like I've been hinting at, guys, I'll take him under 3.5 strikeouts in this game at minus 135. He's not a big strikeout guy anymore. I'm not expecting a very good or even very long outing for Imanaga in this one, and the Brewers only struck out 8 times in the entirety of game 1. They are not a team that's going to strike out a lot. I don't think they're going to strike out a lot against Imanaga here, so taking the under on his strikeouts feels very live to me, especially in a situation where I could see him, I think best case scenario, bro probably pitches like 4-ish innings, and you really think he's going to get 4 strikeouts in those 4 innings? Like, seems a bit unlikely to me. Guys, unfortunately, that's all we have for today. Not a super busy Monday out there in the sports world. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I've been getting in the comments a lot, answering pretty much every single one that I can get to. So definitely get in the comments. Also, I just appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link down there in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com. Get on that free email list. It's a fantastic resource, guys. Every single day you'll be getting an email with free picks and it's straight to your inbox. Like, it's not hard to go search those out. Like, it's just going to show up right there on your phone. So definitely get in on that. Also, check out all the premium stuff we're posting over there. We got premium MLB plays, premium NFL plays, and guys, hockey and NBA are right around the corner. College basketball is coming up before you know it too. So definitely a great time to get in the mix over there on the premium side. And guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.